Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Ridiculous. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Film Blurs. This is episode 141 of the Film Blurs, the most dangerous podcast and the highest podcast on the planet. I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. Uncle Jeffrey, a.k.a. J.O.T's Dynamite, a.k.a. Praetorian Jeff, Revengeman Button, He Who Remains, Patty Ruxpin, Jobu Tupaki, Little Tom, This Motherfucker, To Be Determined, Black Giovanni Ribisi, Chocolate Tarantino, Ebony Spielberg. And I'm joined here, as always, with my friend and co-host.
What's up, ball bags? It's Brandon Norwood, aka Hero Protagonist. You don't know where we stand. Know the plan. Aka the true father of Joe, Kanye, and Aubrey's kids. Aubrey acting
Not
real. I'm like, Aubrey, man. Let me buy you some Summer's Eve for you.
Oh no!
You gotta get you a box of Summer's Eve. I feel like Jason Sudeikis on SNL. Summer's Eve, douche.
With the sound effects.
AKA Papi Chulo. Eating all your Jello and still hanging out with all the women in your life. They love me. They modeled Domingo from SNL off me. AKA the zooted god. Yeah, I flew that plane upside down. I was zooted. I'm zooted right now. AKA
yeah. Of all the Denzel characters, like I kind of relate to that motherfucker the most. I get it.
Yo,
I get it.
He shouldn't have went to jail. That motherfucker flew that plane upside down. Everybody would have died if he didn't.
Imagine if he did that shit sober.
Oh yeah, I think he would have got a Medal of Honor. AKA the Glizzy King. Yo, Nathan's, your glizzies are disappointing, bro.
They are for what they charge and what you get. It's disrespectful, honestly.
Yo, Jeff, tell him how much I paid for 2 chili cheese glizzies and some bacon cheese fries.
He paid like $30 for that. I paid $20 for one glizzy and some fries. Meanwhile, you go to Gray's Papaya, you slap down $10. You eating like a king.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we could.
The dogs are better. The dogs.
Yeah,
are better.
Man. We could have ate like as much money as we paid. We could have fucking had like 6-7 glizzies.
Right. So like Nathan's, you're on notice.
Yeah, listen, I'll give you one more shot, and that's if I end up in Coney Island. If I ever end up in Coney Island, I'll try it. And if it sucks, y'all are kaput.
Look, Gray's Papaya, king.
AKA Mr. Krusty. I need the stuffing, baby, for Thanksgiving. Gets these animal cracker stuffing. Don't want to miss a thing. AKA the Lethal Protector. AKA it's Morbin time. AKA Ezekiel Sims. Bad ADR. Don't match my mouth. Ooh. Craven in a couple of weeks, y'all. Strap in. AKA
that's gonna be amazing.
AKA my biggest pet peeve is sports. I don't like seeing grown men swung on each other. AKA I want a Subaru Outback with mad strippers in the back giving shape ups. AKA Rough McGruff. AKA D's nuts. And AKA B Wood, the Mob Deeb. Call me your messiah because I bagged both Florence Pugh and Zendaya at the same damn time. All right, so let's get into a little bit more Nolan news. Not only did Lupita Nyong'o join the cast, but now Robert Pattinson has joined the cast and Charlize, and I'm like, damn, bro. This is just gonna be his fucking cast from now on. We're just gonna get Oppenheimer level cast. Like his cast were ever since Batman Begins, his casts have always been like stacked, but never like these past couple have been OD stacked, like OD.
Yeah, I mean, people. He does nothing but prestigious shit, right? So like, you're at the top of your game when Nolan asks you to do a cameo in one of his fucking films. When you're asked to do like a day or two on one of his films, you're solid.
Yo, you got Robert Pattinson back, so like, yo, let's get John David back up in here, have him come in for a scene.
Yeah, well, look, it's the year's still young. Like we're still a couple of months out before we start shooting, so you never know.
Yeah, starting top of the year, he's gonna shoot whatever this movie's gonna be, and all reports are wrong, so don't believe a fucking thing outside of casting. Which, honestly, I like that because Jordan Peele does the same thing where you're just like, what the fuck? And then you watch the trailer, and even the trailer, you're like, still don't know what the fuck this is. I appreciate that.
It's that old school shit where like, and as much as I love the potential of the internet, I kind of miss the days where all you knew about a movie was the trailer.
Yeah.
Right. And even then you had no fucking idea.
Like, yo, I was dying to see Titanic because I remember going to a birthday party where we saw Return of the Jedi in theaters and seeing a poster for Titanic where it says worlds will collide. And it was just this riveting of the ship. And it just said a James Cameron film and Titanic in big letters across it. And I'm like, oh, that sounds hard. And then when I went to go see the movie, I was like, oh, it's a love story, but it's still like entertaining for men.
Right.
And then the last hour, nigga, my mind was blown because I was like, what, 11, 12? Something like that.
Yeah.
How old were you then when Titanic came out?
What was that, 96?
95? Yeah, 97, 98.
I was like 17.
Yeah, so I was probably around 12, 13 then.
Yeah. But yeah, same thing with The Matrix. Like no one knew. They saw that Super Bowl trailer, and I was there. I remember exactly where I was. I was in Mark Voorhees' basement.
Yeah, man. I wish I could have saw that in theaters though, because I was tight. Because everybody who saw it opening weekend, one kid, he came up to me. He's like, "You heard of The Matrix?" I was like, "Nah, what is that?" He's like, "Yo, go home and watch the trailer." And I went home and watched the trailer. I came back. I was like, "You saw that?" He's like, "I saw it twice. My parents took me twice in one weekend." I was just like, "Yeah, I hate my dad." I'm fucking.
I saw Matrix before everybody else. It was at the NYU Student Center, right? Like I've been talking about this movie, like right out of high school, right? Like a trailer dropped January, you're during the Super Bowl or whenever like that. I was looking forward to this movie all through like the summer, moving into college and stuff like that. And then, they put up posters for, advanced screenings for this movie at the Student Center. So I go in, I'm trying to tell all my friends this is going to be the greatest thing ever. Still no one knows anything about it. Like, you see The Matrix, it wasn't pristine. It was, the fucking NYU Student Center. So, I mean, the presentation wasn't all that. But we're all amazed. I go out there like I'm an evangelist. Man, I'm going out into the world. We still got 2 months before this movie hits theaters, and I'm like preaching the gospel of The Matrix. right? But like,
Man,
I miss not knowing stuff about a movie and then just being blown away.
right, because I couldn't see The Matrix because my dad was a hoe, and I didn't get to see it till it hit fucking Nah, he was a hoe, bro. Because like anything rated R, this nigga would be like, no. And meanwhile, I have niggas going to see Hard Rain, and they run back. They're like, Brandon, Hard Rain rules. My dad took me to see Hard Rain, and I'm like, God damn it, man.
Wait, the Christian Slater,
Yeah,
Morgan Freeman, John.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
that movie's underrated. It's not good, but it's fun.
It's a nice action thriller. Man. Like, yo, they be going talking about some R-rated thriller or R-rated action movie they would go see. Like, all my friends saw Gladiator, and I couldn't.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Man, like I 80s parents, man. My 80s, like I was born in the 80s. Those motherfuckers were negligent.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, listen, God forbid I do have a kid, but eventually when my kid's gonna be like, yo, can I see this? I'm gonna be like, yeah, sure, I don't give a fuck. Let's go see it. Oh, shit.
Is there breast in it? It's like, because you can't see breasts. That's
yo, listen, I just said I was 12 or 13 and saw Titanic. Yo, shout out to Kate. Yo, I gotta give a shout out to Kate Winslet. I've been seeing you naked since I was a preteen.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Ma. I appreciate you. Yo, listen, slide in my DMs if you're still out there.
Oh man, Kate Winslet, you were one of the world's greatest actresses, but yes, also you ushered a whole entire generation of young men and women into adulthood.
Yeah, yo, shout out, Ma. Shout out. I'll never forget my cousin took me to see Titanic, and as soon as she goes, draw me as one of your French girls, my cousin goes, no! And I was just like, yeah!
Oh, man.
Walked out that motherfucker, he's like, you could talk about it, but don't talk about that one scene, Brandon.
Don't tell nobody.
Nobody about that shit. I was like, and you know, me being so young, all I could think about was like the last hour that motherfucker sings. Because y'all gotta understand, up until that point, we hadn't gotten some shit like that. Like that was some next level shit.
Right.
That was like Titanic did push like technology forward, like.
And you know, comparably, what was the budget on that? Like at the time, it was the most expensive movie ever. Right?
Yeah, bro, because it was over. It was supposed to be like a 50-day shoot, and then it turned into like a year and a half. They went like 100 million over budget, and people were like expecting it to brick. Like that's why Paramount's like, yo, we'll just put it out at Christmas, because this was back when Christmas movies did not make that much money.
Right.
And then what happened? That's when the holiday corridor became lucrative, all because of Titanic. Because that motherfucker ate.
Like, I mean, why isn't there a shrine in every executive's office to James Cameron? Because he saved y'all.
Yo,
like he's made the entertainment industry so much money.
Yo, that movie got so expensive. Paramount had to call up 20th Century Fox. He's like, yo, you want to go halvesies on this? Like, the movie's already halfway done, but like, you want to go halvesies? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's do it.
Whatever.
And then next thing you know, both of them are like, wait, what? Like, can you imagine the Paramount executive where he gets the call Monday morning? It's like, bro, we're number one and we made like 150 million. I was just like, wait, what? I would wake up and like, this was supposed to be a flop. What are you talking about? Yeah, they're
like starring fucking Gilbert Grape and some British chick that no one's ever heard of. starring the fucking third cousin on the fucking what was he on? The Family Ties.
I'd be sitting there being like, did God touch me last night? Did I get touched by God? Like, what the fuck? I'd be so confused.
Like, I don't even know how this thing got funded, man. Because it's like, all right, so You telling me the guy who did Terminator 2 wants to do a romance, a historical romance on a boat?
But it's the spectacle of it. He probably sold him on the spectacle of it. Yeah, that shoot is so notoriously difficult that a crew member laced the food with LSD because he was so pissed that James. Yo, you don't know about this?
No, man.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. The shoot. Apparently, the shoot was so bad. Kate Winslet swore to never work with James Cameron and called him like a tyrant or Hitler, one of the two.
I
Then
probably, yeah.
the crew was so fed up with his shit and his attitude that one of the crew members literally poisoned the food and drink with LSD, hoping to get this motherfucker. And the set had to be shut down a week because everybody got sick from the LSD poisoned food.
Yo, that's dirty, man.
Yeah, and guess what? Cameron never ate it or never drank any of it. So when it came out, he never touched the craft services again.
Wow. So the guy who dosed everybody, I mean, he's still in jail, right? Like he just got out.
They
right?
never found the guy.
Never found the guy. Wow. Like, what if that's like the biggest secret? What if that's his Kaiser Soze? Like on his, like you find out that it was James Cameron all along that dosed it.
I forget what movie or show it was, but I'm just thinking about that movie or show where the dude was just like, "Oh, it's the Matrix," where Cypher's like, "I want to walk in the room and be there just at the right moment, just so you know, it was me." Or you'd be like Vince McMahon, "It was me, Austin. It was me all along."
Oh man. Oh shit! I forgot to put that on my what you been watching. I watched that documentary.
What documentary?
Mr. McMahon.
Oh, he has a documentary.
Oh, dude. Well, yeah, Leo. I'm gonna add that to my what you watching lately.
Yo, so real quick before we move on, Stephanie McMahon, she got some crazy eyes. Like every time she smiles, she's like her eyes are bugging out of her head, and she's like grinning like she just killed somebody.
Dude, the whole entire family at this point, except for what's the son's name?
Vince McMahon Jr.
I don't know. Yeah, he's the only one who doesn't look like a plastic surgeon has touched his face
or serial killer.
Yeah, like in this Mr. McMahon documentary, Vince literally looks like a Muppet. That's how much work he's had done.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, well, his ex-wife is Secretary of Education, so, teacher's going to be, like, you be in school, and a kid will be like, "My name is," and the teachers are now allowed to go like, "It doesn't matter what your name is."
Oh, yeah, we're going to get them edited textbooks that said, "Mountain Dew Baja Blast brought us here."
I've been saying it for years, but, like, I was sort of joking. But now it's serious. We are living in idiocracy. This is the beginning of it.
Oh, yeah, because they said they were erasing slavery from textbooks.
Yeah, because, that didn't happen.
Yep, and apparently they're also pushing to not teach the Holocaust either.
Oh, wow. So they're just erasing every white mistake or evil deed.
Yeah, the Aztecs and Mayans are going to probably stop being taught.
All right, that's cool. That's good to know.
Yo, listen, y'all wanted it, y'all got it.
So if any of our European listeners want to sponsor a work visa for either of us,
bro,
holla at your boys.
Yeah, because I might be hiding out with the murder spiders in Australia.
Look, New Zealand, like I will learn Maori. Like
Yo, listen, I'll go about a walkabout is a rite of passage for coming of age for Aboriginal people, and you know what? I'll do a walkabout. I know it's super dangerous and you can die, but you know what? At this point, I'd rather earn my stripes doing a walkabout than be here when things get real stupid.
I'd rather have a 50-50 chance in Australia than like an 85% chance here of
Yeah,
dying.
man. Yeah, man.
All
All
right. Well,
right.
there we
So,
go.
anyways, back to what we're talking about. Yeah, Christopher Nolan's new cast. I hope Lupita has a meaty role.
Yeah, I mean,
So, because of this, let's talk about this real quick. Because of this, Spider-Man 4 has been pushed back to Christmas 2026, and I'm like, oh, so that's just a week or two after Doom Messiah. Good, yo, Sony's doing a real bang up job here.
I mean, like, Spider-Man 4 could go to toe with a bunch of other movies, right? Not a Nolan film, which
Oh, definitely
they figured out,
Yeah.
and not like the third part of
Dune.
Dune.
That one of the
Yeah.
highest grossing movies of the year. Like the movie and a franchise that's beloved. Like you talk to people still like, yeah, this is still one of the best movies of the year. And that shit came out in March. So
Yeah. So
I mean,
like,
it's fixing to be nominated for Best Picture.
so good luck with that Spider-Man 4.
Yo,
Good luck with that Tom Holland.
Y'all have all. Why not just do Thanksgiving? Like you'd make mad money at Thanksgiving, then you have that
Right.
whole lead up until Dune. That's a whole month.
Yeah. Get a head start. Yeah.
And
Don't
it's not
worry.
like and you'll still make money over Christmas.
Yeah, they'll blink. They'll blink before
Because again,
before the end 2025.
I'm not gonna say everybody, but a good 70% of people, if you put a gun to their head and said, hey, you gotta choose one, like most people are gonna go do Messiah. Like 70-80% are gonna go do Messiah.
Right. And you can say that now because we're all in this superhero fucking backlash, right? Because like they've just been giving us shit. So even the fourth movie in a good series is still like, well, they're gonna fuck up the fourth one.
And
Right.
and listen, I don't think you're a bad director, but I think you need to move away from Marvel because Daniel Destin Crichton is taking the reins from John Watts.
With the Twister?
No, that's
no.
Lee Isaac Chung.
Okay.
Daniel Destin Crichton, he's Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure.
They've given him too much too, because he was originally supposed to do Kang Dynasty. He's still doing Shang-Chi 2. He's doing the Ten Rings show. He directed and produced Wonder Man, which is dropping this time next year. It's like, yeah, they gotta listen. Dustin Daniel Crichton made Short Term 12 and Just Mercy. Like,
Right.
I don't mind filmmakers dipping their toes and doing these, but like, don't make it all you do, bro.
Look, and I get it. Money is money.
Yeah, but like,
Right.
god
Like,
damn, bro. Even Ryan Coogler's like, yo, listen, I'm gonna go do my own shit.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What are you watching?
All right. What have I been watching? All right. We're going to start with TV. All right. And we're going to start with Cross on Amazon Prime. Cross, if you don't know, it's based off the Alex Cross series. There have been 2 iterations of this,
And like 30 books, maybe more.
30 books.
Shout out to James Patterson. My man's is writing like 5 books a year.
Is he still alive?
Across like what?
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
All
still
right, good.
cranking out books, man. Like he has like what 4 different series going in addition to like the standalones he does too.
Yeah, I mean, look, good for him. Good for him. And like he's given us a lot of content over the last 40 years. But
The
yeah,
king of airport novels.
Yup. Yup. So Cross is based on the Alex Cross books. Originally, the role was made famous by Morgan Freeman, who did Kiss the Girls and Along Came the Spider, which were peak 90s um action thrillers, right? Like movies made for adults. And then Tyler Perry took a crack at it with mixed results. I still haven't seen the Tyler Perry version because I mean I don't need to. I had Morgan
If you
Freeman.
want to know how I feel on the Tyler Perry one, listen to it's either the previous one or the one before that. We talked about it recently
Yeah.
because we went on a Rob Cohen rant.
Oh, that's right. That's Rob Cohen, John. Right.
Your first mistake right there.
Yeah. So this one crossed the TV show on Amazon Prime. It's Aldous Hodge playing the titular character, and it's good. It's really good, but it's mixed, right? Some of the actors are not as good as Aldous Hodge, who kills it, right? So it makes him look even better, but it also makes the series seem kind of amateurish at times, right? Only at times. The central mystery is kind of cool. Then there's like a side mystery that extends the runtime of the show and the episode count of the show needlessly, right? And the resolution for that is so fucking stupid, right? It almost ruins everything you watched before, right? But it is entertaining enough. I'd like to see what they do in a second season, right? But I'm not mad at watching this. I was engaged for most of it. Just know that it took a while to get its footing.
So Reacher better?
Reacher season 1 was better.
Well, how does this compare to season 2? Because I do like season 2 of Reacher.
I mean, it's not as good as Reacher season 2, but it's like if Reacher season 2 is an 8, this is a 7.5. Yeah. Like I said, I nothing was so laughable or ridiculous that I was like, fuck this show. And like I sat down and I watched all, I think it's 9 episodes, 8 or 9 episodes in a weekend. And I didn't feel like my weekend was wasted. Yeah. So yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, it's like one of the number 1 shows on Amazon Prime. Those numbers don't mean fucking shit. Like, oh, number 1 movie in America, number 1 whatever in America. It's like, all right, whatever. We don't know what kind of metrics you're using to count this shit.
And now all you got to do is finish Jack Ryan.
Yeah, I got to finish. Like, I got to rewatch season 2 because I started season 2, and then I got so bored it was just on.
Yeah,
right?
season
So I got to go
2
back
is
to
the weakest season. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you, but season 3 and 4, it's worth it. It's like Mr. Robot. Like the first season of Mr. Robot's amazing. Season 2, you're just like, I don't know about this. And then season 3 and 4, some of the best TV you'll ever see in your life.
All right, yeah. So I still haven't even started Mr. Robot because everyone knows how I feel about Remy Malek.
Yeah, worth it. It's worth it.
All right. So yeah, Cross. Moving on from that, I've been meaning to talk about this show for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's also on Amazon Prime. The Edge of Sleep. All right. It's based on a podcast, which Amazon loves making fucking shows out of podcasts with varying results. So this one is about a world in which a mysterious virus affects humanity, and you die in your sleep. Right? So it's about this group of people trying to stay awake and get to this mysterious island where the shroud of reality, blah blah blah, bullshit, will protect them and allow them to sleep. This show is produced by and starring some YouTuber who I had to look up. Right? Apparently, he's a big deal. Like he's an older YouTuber, but he's still pretty popular. I'm not even bothering looking up the dude's name. I don't care. Right? He's serviceable as the lead, but not entirely believable. Right? And everyone else is just acting so over the fucking top. It's hilarious. Like the black best friend, right? This nigga might as well put on some tap shoes and start shucking and jiving. That's how coontastic this dude is, right? And it's stupid, right? The whole entire fucking show, when I say it's stupid, is like they're making dumb moves. Perfect example. I think it's the first or second episode. The main dude has to get to his girlfriend's house, his ex-girlfriend's house, before she falls asleep. Right? The car that they're in breaks down. Right? Instead of searching the neighborhood for a set of keys because everyone's asleep and everyone's dead, and taking the numerous vehicles that are on the block, this dude decides to run 5 miles and just barely get here. I know it's, tension, drama, and everything like that, but it's stupid because you are literally surrounded by a whole bunch of vehicles, right? And so while he's running off to try to make sure his girlfriend doesn't fall asleep, his 2 compatriots are there fixing the car. Yep, that's the look I had. The look that Brandon has on his face right now is the look I had. It's like, you realize you are in a cul-de-sac with numerous SUVs. The scene before, you broke into a motherfucker's house to see if he was like, if they were asleep and dead. Why do you just pick up the keys to any of the vehicles out there? And that is the kind of logic that runs throughout this whole entire fucking show. Right? And it leaves off on a cliffhanger built, nothing's really explained. I guess it's space demon or like intergalactic fucking other dimensional beings that are trying to blah 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 blah. I don't care. I really don't care. The best thing about this show is the title sequence, which has a song by Peggy Lee. And I love that song, that Peggy Lee song. That is the best part about this fucking show. All right? It's like someone saw The Void and fucking Mandy and the Black Rainbow and all of those fucking new throwback psychedelic horror films. It's like, I can do that, but make it dumber. So that's The Edge of Sleep. Fantastic premise, horribly executed. I want to listen to the podcast to see if it's just as asinine. Moving on from that, we're gonna go to this thing. Why are you cracking up, dude? He's on mute right now. What's about to choke? What's so funny?
Because that shit was funny. I want to listen to the podcast to see if it's just as asinine.
Oh, fuck. All right, moving on from that. On Hulu, there's Interior Chinatown. I don't know what this show is. It's about a waiter in Chinatown who is trying to unravel the mystery of his brother's disappearance, but is deliberately injecting tropes from all crime TV shows, right? And it's sort of a meta reflection on that because it's like he knows he's in a TV show. And so every episode he's playing a different guy. Not the same guy, but like a different specialty. Like one episode he's the tech guy, right? And another episode he's the kung fu guy. I don't know what this show is doing, right? It seemed interesting for the first 2 episodes, and then after that I kind of checked out because the tone is off, the mystery is off. There's like everything is kind of fucking off in this. The only shining part about this show is Ronnie Chen. He's killing it as the best friend. And like that dude should
Chloe
actually
Bennett's not good.
What?
Chloe Bennett's not good.
She's all right. Like she's fine. Yeah. I think I would like I would appreciate all the actors in it more if I had some sort of ground, right? Because like the ground rules are never set, and they're always kind of changing throughout the show. I fell asleep by the 5th episode. Like 5th episode, I fell asleep, woke up, and it was still going. So I got to go back.
The entire show's up.
Yeah, the entire show's up.
Okay, that's also kind of.
Yeah, so I got to go back and watch like the remaining 5 episodes to see if it makes more sense. I appreciate the fact that Asian Americans are like they have this weird TV show, like their voices are being heard. I just don't think this was the vehicle for it. And it's the first 2 episodes are directed by Taika. And it doesn't even seem like they're directed by Taika. Right? It seems like honestly, it seems like a Chinese knockoff of a Taika product.
Oh, he's on autopilot.
Definitely 100% autopilot on this for those first 2 episodes. I don't know if he directed the last episodes because, like I said, I fell asleep and didn't feel like going back.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. So, but I'll give it another chance. We'll say. Moving on from that, we're going to talk about, like I mentioned, Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon is a documentary on Netflix about Vince McMahon and his storied career. And I appreciate what he did as a businessman, but also he is a piece of shit. Right? And like during his interviews, right? His sit-down interviews, the news breaks that all his sexual assault allegations and shit like that, right? So they start the first episode showing like Vince McMahon looking like a rejected Jim Henson character, looking around like, oh, I gotta go, and then leaving. And then just like leaving the interview, and that's how they start the documentary. But it is fascinating to see the birth of WWE, which became WWF, which became WWE, and all the people that are involved, all the lawsuits, and all that shit. It was interesting seeing that because if you are a child of a certain age, if you were born between like 85 and 95, you spent at least during your formative years, you spent at least 2 or 3 years really being into wrestling, right? So it's fun and interesting seeing that shit, but also it's one of those things where never meet your heroes because you find out your heroes are all pieces of shit, right? So Mr. McMahon It is worth a watch on Netflix, but this does not do Vince McMahon any fucking favors. Like you, if you thought the heel that he played on the shows were bad, wait until you meet the real man.
I mean, I'm not surprised to hear any of this, to be honest with you.
Man,
He's always been.
Yeah, but like
he looks like a scumbag, bro.
But dude, like, look up clips from Mr. McMahon. You'll see what I'm talking about. He looks unnaturally like his face is just be old, man. Just be old.
Yeah.
Moving on from that in TV, I'm just gonna I think Chernobyl on HBO is one of the best shows ever created. And I have gone back and rewatched it. I don't know, like 3 or 4 times since it premiered back in like 2017. So there's a companion piece called Chernobyl: The Lost Tapes, where they actually all this declassified information and videos from the Soviet state about the Russian about the meltdown, and narration from the people who were there. It is absolutely fucking terrifying to see the actual footage and hear the voices of the people talk about how shit went down.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is fucking crazy. Like, we were literally 30 hours from the end of life on the planet.
Yo, I still have to watch that though. Chernobyl, the show. I've only seen the first episode, and I just never went back to it.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh yeah, I got it, and you know how shit falls behind.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'll get to it, but since we have some time off, I'll get to it over the break because it's screener season. I gotta watch like 12 movies before Monday on screener, so I'll get sick of movies and go to Chernobyl. I'll make that deal for y'all.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, go watch Chernobyl. It is fucking amazing. But the Lost Tapes, it is a great companion piece, because if you watched the show Chernobyl, watching this documentary is even more terrifying, because like, oh shit, like it kind of happened exactly like they laid it out in the show.
Yeah, it's just like that first episode, I was like, "Oh man, y'all motherfuckers were just negligent, man. God damn!"
And it gets worse from there. It got worse from that first episode. Yeah, like I said, we were 30 hours from all vegetation on the planet, all food just being poisoned.
Oh, yo! So what you're telling me is, I'm about to go out and buy some seeds. I'm going to Home Depot. I'm gonna buy some corn. Buy some okra, buy some carrots.
But here's the thing. It wouldn't work because the groundwater would have been irradiated.
Yeah, but I'm going to harvest that shit now.
Unless you freeze dry that shit. Like, I mean, that's all.
Oh, yeah, because, the first resource to go is going to be food and water. So I'm going to start hoarding shit. So that way, when the Great War starts, in all capital letters, I'm going to be good to go. I'm going to be Immortan Joe.
Part 3.
Like, all I'm gonna have, the Great War. All I'm gonna have is I'm gonna stock up on food and guns, and I will literally rule the borderlands.
Like, I want World War III. I don't want it to be like World War III. I want it to be World War: Part 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because after the nukes go off, then it's just gonna go to like guns and knives, bro. Because that's all we're going to have. Man, I guarantee you cars are going to be a commodity. So I'll have a car, I'll have guns, I'll have food, and I will be the ruler of the borderlands.
Here's the thing that they don't tell you. Gas expires. Right?
Yeah, so
cars are like, after about, like, if gas isn't used within, like, I think 2 or 3 years, the combustibility becomes so negligible that you can't run a vehicle off of it.
All right, so you know what? I'm gonna get a horse. I'm gonna have a horse. I'll be ruling the wastelands, bro. I'll have water. I might have fucking Hershey's bars, bro. People will be coming up to me. And I'll be like, do not take Hershey's for granted.
Oh shit. All right. Moving on from that, let's go bust through this. My last TV, I mean, the Jackal is still fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this with you. So
All
go
right,
ahead.
so I'm not gonna do that. But I was gonna leave this show alone, right? I wasn't gonna talk about this fucking show. But then I checked out dude's Facebook, and he's talking all this blah blah blah, yin yang.
Who's that?
So I'm on one of my filmmaker groups. This dude comes up here and he's like, he's looking for crew and shit like that. He ain't got no money, yada yada yada. It's like, all right, whatever. Let me see what you're all about. So I click on his profile, and he is talking real bold about, I'm building a fucking empire. I'm building, ad agency, la 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 la. Talking and like all my enemies. Like he's talking about his ops and his enemies and shit like that. It's like, all right, Negro, I still haven't seen anything you've done. And then I scroll down further, and he's like, yeah, my new TV show on Tubi is the hottest thing on Tubi. It's ranked number 1, blah, 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 blah. I was like, all right, let me check it out. I have discovered the black equivalent of The Room. A thing that is so poorly made that the person who's made it is either an idiot or a genius.
Well,
right?
Before you get too deep, before you make that verdict, we still have to see about last season.
What's about last season?
I showed you that trailer, and you're just like, "Oh, holy shit, this looks fucking goddamn trash." And I was like, "Yeah."
I think I blocked that out, man.
I'm gonna show you because I remember I showed you the trailer. You're like, "Yeah, we gotta review it for the show." So I'll send you the trailer again.
Right.
About last season.
All right, I'm looking forward to it because you know how I love shit. Shitty movies.
I've been trying to see this movie for the past 10 years.
But on Tubi, there's this show, and I don't want to give it any more clout than it has, but it is absolutely dog shit. Soul Sister Chronicles. Sista, Sista Chronicles. Just in case you try to put an ER on that. It's 2 episodes long, half hour. It's got a 6-minute long voiceover intro explaining the world using nothing but clip art. And then you get into the show, which is full of just one takes, badly lit one takes. And the thing about it is, you can tell it's one take, and they took the best take because people are constantly mispronouncing shit. Right? So it's about witches and vampires and shit like that. So one of the main characters is explaining how she was part of a witches coven. But the director but she keeps on saying it as Colvin, like Bunny Colvin from The Wire. Right? Amsterdam, right? So she's got a 10-minute scene where the camera doesn't break from her, where she's explaining how she was part of this witches coven. And I felt so embarrassed for her. I felt embarrassed for everybody in that fucking room. It's like, not what. Like, no close-ups, nothing you can cut away. Like, at no point was the director like, it's actually pronounced coven, and there's actually no L in the spelling. So I don't know where you're getting Colvin from.
Yo, I hate niggas, bro.
Right? And I wasn't going to say shit, but this dude is on Facebook talking all big and bad like complaining about niggas' rates and shit for hard, like for like he was complaining about a second. He's complaining about like a DP's rate, and it's like,
Oh my god.
you gonna charge me $1,500 a day, nigga? I was like, yeah, that's if he's bringing camera and shit like that, you're still getting a deal.
You get what you pay for.
Right?
Like, son, yeah, that's why people say that it's not true all the time, but like 90% of the time, you get what you pay for.
Right. So like, but he's like, I wasn't gonna say shit. I wasn't even gonna shit on this show, but he was talking all big and bad online, like he's the next coming of cinema Jesus, right? In this show, the one white person in there, like, so she's playing the bad witch, Lady Bloodrain. That's her name, Bloodrain. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. She's got a fake,
like the video
British
game
accent. Yeah, she's got a fake British accent for some reason, and she's not pulling it off. Right? Fucking in the first episode, this bitch doesn't know anything. Like the main chick doesn't know anything, and the second, like then you get to the second episode, and she knows everything. She knows kung fu. Right? We don't learn how she knows about this shit. We don't know how she learns about it. She's jumping through different dimensions. This is fucking ridiculous. And that's why I'm going to say for 2025, let's normalize in the creative spaces telling people that their shit's not good. Right? Because I know not near one of this motherfucker's friends or colleagues was like, yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah, you gotta start boosting people's egos, bro.
Right? Like, no more mediocrity. We can't afford it. So, yes, Soul Sister Chronicles on Tubi, and I think it is the black equivalent of The Room. Like, if I had a plastic spoon while I was watching it, I would throw it at the screen. And we're gonna finish off on a movie I watched on Netflix, called Atlas, starring Jennifer Lopez, directed by obviously someone's cousin, because that's the only reason that this possibly could have been made. It is a giant cut scene from a video game. Right, it's 2 hours. It's 2+ hours. Cut scene where Jennifer Lopez is acting against a disembodied AI voice horribly. She is acting so over the top, so badly, that I had to think that she was doing it on purpose. Right? Like, that was a choice she made to turn this into a comedy. The movie in of itself is absolutely, if it were a sci-fi original, I wouldn't say shit. But this is a Netflix movie starring Jennifer Lopez that they had to have spent like at least $150 million on. And it is bad. She is bad in it. I don't know who thought that would be a good idea. And
damn,
and
nigga,
she's playing a 30-year-old.
Damn, nigga, you like going in with the knife. With the knife.
And she's playing a 30-year-old. Like, Jennifer Lopez is still a beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, but she ain't looking no 30 years old.
But you are not playing 30.
Like, Jeff, I could barely pull off 30.
Right? I'm 44. I'm barely pulling off 44. Right? Like, and I'm black. So, like,
you know what I mean? Like, people look at me and they're like, oh yeah. Like, I tried to tell somebody the other day, I'm like, yeah, I'm 25. And the nigga looked at me and laughed. Like, 25.
Shit. So yeah, Atlas, I can't recommend it for anything but watching it as a cautionary tale on everything that's wrong with Netflix. Boom. There you go. And if you want to do if we want to talk about episode 6 of the Jackal, Day of the Jackal, we can.
Yeah.
Niggas is gonna be mad at episode 6.
Yo, shout out to that hard ass remix though of Paradise Circus by Massive Attack. That remix is hard as shit. Look, if you were just a normal dude, because how they resolve the last episode's cliffhanger, I'm just like, y'all really think you're gonna get like, yo, listen, if I'm a normal dude, right, I'm just gonna let this motherfucker go. Like, what gain do I have trying to get money from him? Like, holding him hostage. Like, he was gonna let him go anyway. Like,
this dude has a super high tech rifle, right? Yeah. You hear the helicopters searching, right? Like, you were better off just calling the cops.
Yeah, man.
Until they're trying to extort this dude.
I also live by MYOB, which stands for Mind Your Own Business. So as far as I'm concerned, I'd be like, yo, you gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that. Like, have that nigga run off. Like, yo, the fact that these low-life European dudes really thought they could pull one over, I'm like, yo, y'all not even let's say, like, even a dude who is muscled up and knows things couldn't even handle the Jackal.
Right.
Like, y'all two motherfuckers, really? And then started shoving food in his mouth. Eat.
That's what fucked him up, right? You gotta keep a distance. You gotta keep a distance from this motherfucker.
Bro, why are you shoving food in his mouth? The nigga don't want to eat. He don't want to eat. You just leave it be. I'd be like, all right, starve, bitch.
Right? Like, but you're gonna get real close up and like try to force feed this dude, and that's how you got.
Yeah, yo, listen. Be an asshole, you get asshole back.
Right, fucking play, fuck around and find out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Play dumb games, win stupid prizes.
So, like, another great episode of The Jackal. I loved how Lashana and him end up on the same plane together. Yeah, it's like, oh shit, now it's getting fucking deep now.
You can tell his wife is kind of into it too, where she's like, show me, and nigga dresses up as the old man. I was just like, oh man, there's gonna be a lot of role playing in their future.
If she survives, I still think that's gonna come down to either him or her, and she's got to go.
Her mom is talking to a divorce attorney. I'm like, yo, she's already doing stupid shit. You don't need to take it to another level.
Right. Like, because she'll never went in the room.
Yeah. Look, listen, again, if I walk into a room, like, let's say I'm married, I walk into my room and my wife has a secret room, and in the secret room is guns, mask, and money and passports. I'm just gonna be like, oh, she's either a serial killer or she's a contract killer. I never saw anything.
Right.
I never saw anything. I'm gonna keep living in my nice ass house.
I'm going to swim in my pool.
Yeah.
I'm going to swim in my outdoor pool.
Hell yeah. I'll be like, yo, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. Again, MYOB. Mind your own business.
But
as long as she's not cheating, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but like, I'm glad they didn't shy away from that last part of the show where it's, where, the Jackal is seducing a dude. Right. To gain access to a venue, and that they kind of put that in the Jackal movie, right? But they kind of play it off, right?
Which movie?
The fucking Bruce Willis one, right?
We gotta stop talking about that
one. Yeah, so
we gotta do comparison. I guess now I gotta watch the 1970 one just so we can start doing comparisons to that instead of that one.
Yeah, I gotta watch like the real Day of the Jackal. But I'm glad they did not shy away from the fact that like this dude will do whatever it takes to accomplish his mission.
Yo, listen, Sometimes if $1 billion is standing between you and sucking a dick, sometimes you're just gonna be like, you know what?
Dick.
Gotta suck a dick.
Look. Yeah, y'all motherfuckers out here working for $15 an hour, scrubbing floors and shit like that. Like, if someone offers you $10,000 to suck a dick, I mean, you at least gotta think about it. Consider it. Like, look, let's keep it real. Like, everybody's got a price for everything.
Yo, $1 billion, I'd be like, all right.
Like you want to look me in
fuck.
the eyes? Like, how does this work?
It's not gonna be on camera. Cool.
Right, like, but
Never
for $1 billion, for $1 billion, they can live stream the shit.
Nah.
Like, I'd never have to do for $1 billion.
No, I don't want nah, bro. Nah. I can't have that shit public.
Fuck, I'll be on my yacht with Listerine. I'll be fine. You can't at a certain price point, at a certain like level of wealth, you can't hurt my feelings.
Yo,
like, that's
listen.
true.
I'm gonna get into that in a minute. Yeah, that's why I'm just like, yo, Elon, you're a fucking multi-billionaire, and you still letting like a motherfucker who is covered in Dorito dust get under your skin,
right? Like,
you fucking colonizer. Like, you're a colonizer anyway. Like, go fuck off.
Like I've learned, like, if I could get to $100 million, you could call me a nigger hard R to my face. And I was like, yeah, that's what you think. I'm just gonna go over here.
Listen, because at that point,
buy your mom.
You could just literally take out a bankroll and just smack the fuck out of that person,
right,
back and forth, and put the money back in your pocket and walk away. And the cops would show up for assault, and nothing would happen to you. Just tell them, like, oh, he called me a nigger. as you hand out fucking $1,000, he called me a nigger. Cry, and you know the cops will go over there, take out their nightsticks, and be like, "We gotta teach you a lesson."
It's like, was it with the sir? Was it with the hard R? Oh, you fucked up now, man. All right, yes. we gotta be changed now.
Hell, I would take a picture of me hugging a cop too, just hugging a cop, just for good PR. As in the background, you see that motherfucker getting nightsticks to the face.
Look, I'll be just like Jordan Belfort on that fucking boat. It's like, you know what I call these? Fun coupons. Here.
We still gotta find lewd, bro.
Oh God. If anyone, we do not condone the use of illicit drugs, but if you have any lemon quaaludes, I would not be opposed to sampling them.
It's gonna be exactly like Wolf of Wall Street, where we're like, I don't fucking feel shit, man. I don't feel shit. I'll be like, yo, Jeff, I'm gonna go get some Burger King, and then as soon as I hop in my car. Women shows.
Yes, so
I start crawling across the floor.
I want Quaalude money. I want to be so rich that I can hire a chemist, some Walter White shit. It's like, just make me one Quaalude, just one.
Oh man.
All right, man. So what have you been watching?
All right, so I'm gonna just talk about a couple of movies because I've just been busy with watching all of our main review shit over the past few episodes, going back and forth from the city and back here. So I want to talk about, I watched on a screener link, Sing Sing.
How is it?
It's good. It's good. Like, I think it's a little overhyped, but it's a really good movie. All the performances are good. I did not know this premiered last year at film festivals last year.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I've been hearing about this since at least like fucking April, I think.
Okay, so yeah, because that makes sense, because it premiered this time last year at a few film festivals, and I was like, oh, okay, so watching the movie, you're like, okay, I understand how it missed last season's award season and this season's award season because it's good, and I know a lot of people are probably going to push it, but I don't think it's that good.
Right.
Coleman Domingo though absolutely kills it. So I mean, that's the best things, the performances.
And I'm glad Coleman Domingo is finally, after years of working, is finally like at the tipping point, and his career is skyrocketing.
Yeah.
You know, so like, good. I will watch anything with Coleman Domingo in it. Honestly, like even that Zola movie, based on the tweets that A24
yeah, that
say,
shit sucked.
Yeah,
like, the tweets were more entertaining than the movie.
Right, but I love Coleman Domingo, so I stuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing else to say. It's like, yo, they used the real prisoners who were enrolled in the program. Again, like, all the acting's just phenomenal. But like, yeah, great movie. I'm gonna move on. I got a Steelbook 4K, not 4K, just the regular Blu-ray Steelbook until I guess they re-release it in 4K. Is Dunkirk. Because my brother has the 4K, and I'll say it's a step down. Like, it's definitely a step down, but it's still a good looking Blu-ray.
Okay.
Did not realize this motherfucker was in IMAX. Like, it opens in IMAX and stays in IMAX until 17 minutes until the movie. That's where it breaks ratio.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it breaks for about 5 minutes. Like,
okay.
This movie is an hour and 40 minutes. Hour 40, hour 45. Hour 10 minutes is in IMAX. So basically like 90% of the movie's in IMAX. So this is Dunkirk is the closest you're ever going to get to a pure IMAX movie. Unless these new cameras can actually
right.
So let's see what these new cameras can do, because lo and behold, I say that shit now, but who knows? Because Nolan's next joint might entirely be in IMAX, which would be fucking nuts. But yeah, this and Tenet have the most IMAX shot footage for a movie. Hour 10 minutes. Like even Oppenheimer seems like it has like over an hour in IMAX. Oppenheimer in actuality only has 40 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, seems like a lot more.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm gonna get into my last watch, which is 1962's Experiment in Terror. This movie's fucked up. It's one of the most fucked up movies I ever seen. I cannot believe this got released. From the music, from the vibes, from the way that a character is like, yeah, she lives in Twin Peaks. I was like, oh, this is where David Lynch got his whole style from, was from this movie. Directed by Blake Edwards. And if you guys don't know, Blake Edwards did the first two Pink Panther movies. So the Pink Panther and A Shot in the Dark. And he did this. And this is one of the craziest fucking movies ever.
What's it about?
A man with asthma assaults Kelly Sherwood in her home and tells her, like, hey, you're gonna help me rob a bank, or else, you know, he's feeling her up and shit, like, oh, basically like, yo, you'll be my sex slave and your sister, because your sister's real pretty. Okay,
so he starts off scumbag. He starts off full scumbag. Okay.
And I was just like, bro, how the fuck did this movie get released back then? Because, you know, back then they're like real strict about what you could and couldn't put in movies. And I was just like, damn, this got released? Because that's like the first 2 minutes is like, homie grabs her as she pulls into her garage. And it's just like, yeah, I've been watching you for a long, long time. And as he's feeling her up, he's like, I know your measurements. 34B, 36 waist, 84. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah. So, she because of that, she contacts the police, and this police chief, played by Glenn Ford, he's on he's trying to make sure she's gonna be all right, because Once she contacts the police, this nigga finds out immediately and like hits her over the head and puts his foot on her neck, literally on her neck, and is just like, I told you not to do that, but I'll let you make this mistake this one time. Next time you do this, I'll kill you. So now she's playing like him and the cop are playing a cat and mouse game with this guy just because when she called 911, he kind of figured out like, yo, somebody who urgently is like, somebody's going to kill me, and then immediately hangs up. Something bad happens. So he figures it out, and he's trying to prevent this robbery from happening, because if she does go through with it, she's an accessory and she has to go to jail. So he's trying to help her out, as the killer's always one step ahead. Like, she goes into a changing room in a restaurant in a clothing store, and as she's changing clothes to try on a shirt, this nigga comes in. He's like, hey, Kelly, we got the robbery's tomorrow. You better be on point, and just grabs her by the throat and it's like, if you scream, I'll kill you in front of everybody in the store.
Oh, okay. So this is a real. I can't even describe it.
It's a noir.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah, bro. Like, yo, listen, you watch this and you're like, oh yeah, fucking David Lynch got everything from this movie, except for the surrealism. But like his style, the music, the mood, all from Experiment in Terror.
And how long does it run?
2 hours and 3 minutes.
All right. I mean, not horrible, not good, not
Streaming,
bad. Not bad.
I watched it on the Criterion channel, but for those of you who aren't on that, because it's under the Columbia Noir channel, because you know it is Noirvember, and I couldn't let Noirvember pass by without watching a noir. Yeah, it's also on Tubi. So for those of you who can't afford fucking Criterion, it's on Tubi.
All right, I'll watch it on Tubi.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna watch this shit again and talk about it next episode.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch since it's on Tubi. But I'm saving my pennies for these streaming Black Friday sales.
Oh, yo, listen. I just promised in the previous episode, I was like, Peacock, I got you, and I did. I got you. I got you. I'll put that sale up, and I was like, got you. I can't give away my tricks, but I
got an email from Paramount. It was like, oh, $2.99 a month for the first 2 months. It's
2
like,
months, yeah, I got that
like
too.
that.
And I was like, yo, that's not a deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do
it. I'm gonna do it, but like at the same time, that's not a deal, bro. That's why your streaming service is struggling.
Yeah, like $2.99 locked in for a year. Okay, I'll do that.
Do at least 6 months for like $1.99 or $2.99.
Right.
At least $2.99 for the first 2 months. That's not a deal.
Yeah. No.
Sorry, Paramount.
It's like, yeah, it's a discount. It's not a deal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like everybody's doing. The only streamer who doesn't do Black Friday is Netflix, and it's because y'all motherfuckers, y'all let them keep that boot on their neck, just like in this movie.
Yeah, like I keep on forgetting to get rid of Disney Plus until, and then like as soon as I'm about to get rid of it, something hot drops. It's like, all right, now I gotta keep this fucking shit.
Yep. All right. That's all I got. So let's get into trailer talk.
Roll camera and action.
It's time for some trailer talk.
Yeah, so let's get into the trailer for The Amateur.
And I was talking shit about Rami Malek earlier, and like I don't dislike him as an actor. It's just his face. Like he looks like someone I would dislike, but I'm sure he's into the same shit I am. I'm sure I would love him in person. But this trailer for this movie, this might turn me around on Rami Malek. It looks hard as shit.
Yeah, bro. I miss this type of movie, which is like a mid-budget action thriller. You know what I'm saying? Like the last time we got one of these, it flopped real bad. And I was like the only person who enjoyed it. It's called The Rhythm Section.
I've wanted to watch the rhythm section for so long. Is it
I
good?
like it. Yeah, I like it. Like everybody hated it, and I'm like, bro, this is a good action thriller. We need more of those. You know what I'm saying? Like a nice mid-budget. You spent some money, but not too much.
And I love movies like this where they like an ordinary person is pushed to like the extremes, and then they like either get recruited or whatever like that, and they just go on a mission.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the trailer for The Amateur. So Remy Malek's a CIA analyst. Like he's like the dude in the cubicle. He's the dude in the chair on the computer. His wife dies, and he's like, put me in the game, coach. I want to kill the guys who killed my wife. And it was like, nah, you can't, man. You're a nerd. You can't do this. So he goes out on his own using his nerd skills to assassinate people. And it looks fucking hard as shit.
Yeah. I got nothing else to add to that. Other than April 11th. It drops 11th. April. So like not prime time, but also not a bad time.
Yeah.
So
like, happy birthday to me.
If it was dropping in January, I'd be like cautiously optimistic. But now, like watching the trailer, I was like, okay, April,
It's a warm up. It's a warm up for May.
Yeah. So what we got coming in May? What's dropping in May? All right. Yeah, I know what's kicking off summer. Never mind.
What's kicking off?
That's Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
All right. The Amateur, April 11th.
Yeah. Now let's get into our man review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurts feature film review. All
right, what do we want to start with?
We're going to start with The Brutalist. And I know we've been swearing in this episode, but we're trying to cut back on our normal usual swearing. So first off, I want to say, fast forward to Moana if your kids are listening to portions of this, because this is a movie where first off, not only do we have to talk spoilers about it, but like it's rough, and kids don't need to hear anything about this movie.
Right. Right off the bat, this is a 3.5 hour movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how you lock in and engage with this film, that 3.5 hours with an intermission, with a 15-minute intermission.
Yeah, something Scorsese needed to do.
Yeah. So depending on how you lock in to this movie, that 3.5 hours will either fly by, or it will be a fucking endurance test for you. Me personally, I didn't need the intermission. I could have watched this thing straight through. That is how locked in I was to this movie. It flew for me because it is. Yeah, I mean, I did miss the first 20 minutes. Thank you, New Jersey Transit.
Yeah, you missed one of the best shots of the year.
Yeah, so
with the score swell during that shot, fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, so like I have to, if there are any other screenings going on, holla at your boy, because I got to see that first 20 minutes. But
real quick, fuck you, A24, man. Y'all couldn't show us a 70mm screening of this. Like, y'all been showing this all in 70mm everywhere. Even John's Tire Shop got to show a 70mm print of The Brutalist.
What the hell is John's Tire Shop?
I'm just making it up, bro. Like, small places get the fucking show.
Look, man, you know how these hipsters go, man. There might be an actual theater out there called John's Tire Shop. Like, I don't know what the world is anymore.
So, like, yeah, this movie's divided into 4 sections. There's an overture. There is the first part, which is called Part 1, The Enigma of Arrival. Part 2 is The Hardcore Beauty. And then an epilogue.
Yeah. This movie is beautifully shot, well acted. I don't think like this didn't feel like a movie to me. It felt like a poem.
It feels like a novel come to life, honestly. Like
Yeah.
a great American novel. Because I will say off the bat, this is a epic, but not in an epic in like Oppenheimer sense. It's like a small scale epic. Like
Right.
think of Tree of Life, because Tree of Life is an epic.
This is the closest thing that we've gotten to the Magnificent Ambersons.
Yeah, this is
in a while.
This is basically like I would say the theme of the movie, like it's obviously about poor versus rich and immigrants versus naturals, but to me this is just about America, and this movie literally holds a mirror up to America and just shows how easily America rots people. Like it's just rotten to the core.
Right.
Between the drug use and the money.
This movie changes. Like this in America, like the movie says, in America you will change, right?
Yeah,
It will change you, and if you
not for the better,
right, and if you're strong enough, you can get through it. But if not, then it will break you.
What's cool about this movie takes place in Philadelphia and Doylestown primarily, and exactly how people in Doylestown are.
Yeah,
exactly. I was just like, yeah, this is all Doylestown, Pennsylvania people. Fuck these people, like.
And this movie is so good, right? And I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought this. I thought this was a real character, right? Like
Laszlo Toth.
Yeah,
Toth,
Laszlo Toth. I was about to Google Laszlo Toth and see, like, go out to Doylestown and see some of his work before Brandon told me that this is a totally made up character. And the moderator said the same fucking thing. Cursing. Said the same thing. That's how authentic and lived in Adrian Brody and Guy Pearce and everybody brings this to life. Like, I felt like it was I thought it was a biopic.
It starts off like hallucinatory and hopeful, and then like as it goes on, it's shot more and more like a fucking nightmare, because that's what it becomes, like a fucking waking nightmare. And that's before we even get to the second part. I'm talking about like halfway through the first part, it becomes like watching a nightmare.
Yeah, because the ups and downs of Laszlo's life. I'm going to say that this is more ambitious than you would think the budget would allow.
Yeah. They cheated a lot. But with that said, some just we gotta put it out there. Some trigger warnings, man, because the heroin use is rough. Not as rough as Queer, but it's rough. This didn't make me queasy. Queer made me queasy.
Right.
But like, I think the rape kind of sums up the whole movie and America itself. So I'm giving you like a real big warning. There's a fucking rough rape scene where I don't want to say who,
right?
But you'll
like,
see it. But Laszlo is raped by another man, and you're just like, the way it's shot and treated, like the character treats it, where he's just like, yo, I don't even see you as human. You're just he doesn't even do it as like, it's not even sexual gratitude he does it out of. He does it out of power. Just like, yo, because you're just nothing to me and I can do this.
Well, I mean, that's most rapes. Most rapes aren't sexual gratification. It's power dynamics.
Yeah, and this one is strictly a power dynamic, and it's disgusting. Like, on every level, y'all. Like, there's just, I'm letting y'all know it is rough.
Yeah, it is something, and it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh.
Yeah, and I mean, it sets the rest of the movie in motion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when Laszlo's flipping out 5 minutes later on the crew, I'm like, yeah, nigga, I know where that's coming from.
Yeah. And the thing about this movie is it leaves some things ambiguous, right? And I loved that about this movie, that some of the characters, you don't know what happened to them, but you know what happened to them, right? They never spell it out, but if you're watching hard enough, and if you know human nature, you know exactly what happened.
Yeah. Man, yo, listen, Tupac said it best. America eats its babies. Like, yo, like we survive. This country thrives off of immigrants, and like this just shows exactly how we treat them. Even white immigrants, this is how we treat them.
Right. Like everybody was an immigrant here. I don't understand. We're not going to get into politics, but like the last couple of episodes, the last couple of movies we've seen have been mad topical, and it's topical because we are making the same fucking mistakes
Yeah, man.
that we've been making for the last 500 years.
The co-writer and director of this, Brady Cooper, straight up said, like, we wrote this as a rebuke of Trump, and here we are again.
Right.
And he just sighed heavily, like, here we are again. I spent 7 years of my life making this because of what we've all collectively experienced, and now here we are again. And I'm just like, well, I mean, feels like not.
Right. Yeah. But what's amazing to me is that they made this movie for $10 million and shot it in 33 days. Right? So I don't understand.
They shot on VistaVision, which is a film stock and cameras they haven't used in over 30, 40 years. And listening to him talk about it, I'm like, oh yeah, like y'all might as well have just shot on 70 millimeter film. Because it is like the equivalent of 30, like VistaVision is basically a form of 70 millimeter, we might as well say, because it's a high format 35 millimeter film. And the format is so high that it has to be printed on 70 millimeter. So at a certain point, I'm just like, y'all might as well just shot on 70 millimeter film, honestly.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, we didn't get into the reasons, but you know, he had to have had a reason. But it shows. It's like this is a film, right? It feels organic through and through.
And listening to him talk about how much it costs to shoot on basically an extinct film format, I'm just like, oh, so when everybody comes back with the excuse like, oh, it was too expensive, I was like, oh, the money people are just lying to you, bro.
Right. You can find if you plan and you know what you do, what you want to do, and you have you know, a dime tight concept and idea, you can do something for little money, right? It's where we get into this like, all right, well, we didn't expect to shoot an extra 15 days because we rewrote it on set and shit like that. That's where you get into these fucking expenses. Right? But
Absolutely.
this movie was shot in 33 days, which is insane to me.
Because it's 3.5 hours, and a couple of those sets are extravagant because, you know, it deals with brutalist architecture, you know what I mean, and the beauty of brutalism. You could tell they built that shit.
Yeah, right. And like $10 million, that's the food budget on a Marvel movie.
Oh yeah. They're paying that for Robert Downey Jr.'s security that he wants.
Right? So like you can't tell me that movies have to cost like $100 million plus.
Right. Especially since this is shot on large format. I'm like, yeah, there's no excuse, bro.
And the way he broke down the economics is like, look, I can get someone to give me $10 million, right? Because if we lose money, then it's only $10 million. We've only lost $10 million, right?
Yeah.
if you spend $190 million, you expect a return.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah, right. Like that. Look. When as soon as he said that, I thought about Joker, and I'm just like, yeah, it's wild that they gave that much money to that movie. Honestly, I don't care if it's a sequel to $1 billion grosser. You don't go from 60 to 190. That's
Right.
almost triple your budget. It just doesn't make sense, especially for a movie that takes place in 3 locations. Like The Brutalist takes place in more locations than Folie à Deux. Not only does it take place in more locations, but they also shot on film, bro. Like Folie à Deux was shot digitally.
Shot on film, multiple locations. They went to Italy. They went to these places, right?
Yeah, man. Like they had to start building Laszlo's center,
right,
to have a set.
Yeah. So like
those sets are pretty fucking big, man.
Yeah. So don't give me this whole entire fucking $190 million for Folie à Deux. That's like, that could have been made for 80, and still you could have cut corners.
Yeah,
to make it cheaper.
Yeah. So that's all I got on The Brutalist.
Yeah,
it's basically an American mirror. I will say it's good. I really like this movie. Just not as good as everybody's making it out to be. Like this movie was overhyped for me. And I know, Jeff, you came in with no hype, but everybody and their mom was hyping this movie up. And then I see it and I'm like, I was expecting like a masterpiece, and what I got was a very great old school epic.
Like you said, I didn't come in with any kind of expectations, and I absolutely loved it. I do think that eventually this will be considered a masterpiece, right? I actually want to watch this 2 or 3 more times to really get into it, right? But there's something about it that connected with me.
Fair enough. I mean, that's for a lot of people, but like to me, it was just a little overhyped, you know.
Yeah, I get that. I get how it could have been overhyped.
Yeah, and fuck y'all for not mentioning. Like, I'm gonna do y'all a solid, but fuck the rest of y'all for saying how you're talking about how tender and how big it is, and I'm just like, yo, y'all forgot to mention how rough it is too. Like, you gotta let people know, like, yo, like
at certain
watch
points,
this when you're having a good day, not when you're having a bad day.
Yeah, because like the hopeful parts are fantastic, but the rough parts are really fucking rough.
Yeah, and it's 90% of the movie. And not for nothing, like, yo, listen, things keep getting so rough. I was like, oh, you're at the point where you might push this into melodrama versus drama. And thankfully, he pulled back, because there's a certain point where I was just like, oh, well, if this character dies, this is officially a melodrama.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm glad it didn't go there.
Yeah.
So the Brutalist, it was it December 22nd? It goes wide.
20th, December 20th. I think that's just New York and LA. December 20th.
Yeah, so
fuck you, A24. Yeah, fuck you guys for not giving a 70 millimeter, and you still haven't gotten back to me about a 70 millimeter screening.
Right. Yeah, because you need to watch this in 70 millimeter. Yeah,
especially with that VistaVision logo at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so that opening oneer that ends with the Statue of Liberty, the best. That shot of the Statue of Liberty is like the shot of the year for me with that music.
So, A24, if anyone's listening, get us our 70 millimeter screening.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on to Moana.
All right. So we're moving into
Moana 2.
All right.
Did you watch Moana 1?
Nah, I didn't get a chance to, man. I didn't have the energy.
Yeah, look, I rewatched Moana 1 before seeing Moana 2, and I was just like, oh, I hadn't seen it since the press screening of that, like 6-7 years ago, however long it was. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, it was fine. Like I was really looking forward to it. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. And then rewatching it the other night, I was like, oh wait, this is much better than I remembered. Like it really is an entertaining, fun movie. And this one, definitely a step down. The songs are just like the first one has some catchy ass songs, and this one, the songs are like I don't remember any of the fucking songs. We got 3 new sidekicks for her. She has a fucking little sister now, or excuse me, she has a little sister now. Maui and her don't come together until like near the end of the second act, and I'm just like, that's way too long to keep these two characters apart.
All right. So my thing is like I didn't go in knowing the first Moana, but like everybody's been talking about Moana for the last 6 years or whatnot, right? So I'm expecting, some gee whiz bang zoom type stuff, and I didn't get that. Like, so the first thing I judge a sequel on is if I've had to have watched the original to enjoy the second one. And this is definitely one of those movies where I have to watch the first one to get any sort of frame of reference. And I think that's a failure on the filmmaking part, right? Because like some of the best sequels, you didn't have to watch the first one to at least gain like to be thrown instantly into it, right? So that was my first problem with it. My second problem with the movie was it seemed super emotionally manipulative with the addition of the baby sister, right? Because she is so cute and precocious that it makes your heart ache, right? But it's got no real storytelling value, right?
I mean, she's just kind of thrown in there, and you're trying to they're relying on the fact of like, oh, it's a little kid, so you'll immediately like latch on to her,
Right?
Like the best thing I can say about this one and the first one is like Moana is allowed to be her own person, which means no, she's not really dependent on a man or isn't forced into a relationship. Like, I'm glad like she can just exist on her own, and her and Maui are just friends. Because a lot of these fairy tales and Disney movies, like, hey, you have to have a significant other.
Right. I do appreciate the princess joke that's in there, and you'll know once you watch it.
Yeah, because it's a joke for Disney. It's like a Disney thing.
Yeah. It didn't really start hitting for me until we got to the giant clam. And that's where it's like, okay, I'm enjoying this now. Like the coconut people, what are they called? The kuka whatever.
Yeah, they're from the first movie, and they were very scary in the first movie.
And in this one, like it felt like, okay, this is this world's version of Minions. Right?
Yeah, except more tolerable.
Yeah. And like you said, the none of the songs were all that memorable. I can't remember a single one.
It got to a point where I was like, yo, I preferred if you guys just didn't sing.
You honestly could have excised all
those songs,
all of the musical numbers, and it would have still just been a fine movie. It's not like I dislike this movie, right? But this seems like a product movie. It doesn't.
Well, here's the thing. I could tell this like halfway through. This originally started off as a TV show. Like this was supposed to be a Disney Plus TV show, and then because the movie's just so popular and so successful, they're just like we have to do a sequel. So it does feel like the first 4 episodes of a season as a movie.
Yeah, and you totally see that. And it's set up for a third film.
Yeah,
right?
like it feels like the publicist she was like, why are you guys leaving? There's a credit scene. We walk in as the credit scene's going on, and it's literally like next time on Moana 3. Like it wraps up a storyline, because that was my problem, was like I walked out, I was like, so what was up with the Batwoman? And then you find out what's up with her, and you're just like, that y'all left that dangling just to set up the third Moana, which you didn't need to do, because we all know a third Moana is going to happen, because like this is going to be successful enough where it's going to happen. Look, I don't hate this movie. Like,
Nah, it's fine.
at the end of the day, if I had to take my kid to see it, I wouldn't be mad. But it's just, it really is a step down for Moana 1. And now I'm just like, you know what? Leave Encanto alone. Like, don't do a sequel to that either.
And like that, like honestly, Encanto is my litmus, is my benchmark for Disney quality, right? Wish was like, no one even talks about Wish, right? That's how bad Wish it was.
And I said this to my brother on the ride home. I was just like, I'm kind of tired of these Disney movies having the same character models across all these movies, like Tangled, Frozen, Moana, Wish, Encanto. They all the character models look the same, like the big nose, big eyes, and Trey was like, yeah, like fucking
it's product.
Like Moana looks like Frozen, except with just
brown
Pacific
skin.
Islanders instead of white people. And it's just like, yeah, man, like I appreciate the culture that they put in both of these movies, like really do, and I think that's awesome. But like, damn, bro, even DreamWorks switches up their animation style from movie to movie. You know what I mean? Like,
if like it feels like DreamWorks films feel like they're individual films instead of
instead of coming from a production house. Like this feels like it is coming from the same production house. They're just changing a few things around.
Right. I mean, I guess that's that's Disney's model. Like, that's how they become the biggest entertainment industry in the world.
Yeah, and here's my thing: I still don't know what the deal with the Bat Lady is.
Yeah, like just like the little sister, she's just thrown in there.
Like I'm still not entirely clear, even with the post-credit scene, if she was an antagonist or helping them out sincerely. I really don't know.
Anti-hero, right? Like she was
holding Maui hostage for no reason. I was like, in hindsight, you didn't even need to hold him hostage.
Yeah, I mean, like she kind of explains it, like Maui goes like, wait, so you held me hostage in hopes that Moana would come and rescue me so you could put her on the path to find the island, right? Even when he says it out loud, the look on his face is like, yeah, that's stupid, right? Like, yeah, so you glossed right over that. See, this movie's a gloss over, honestly.
You cannot. That just makes it worse when a character says how stupid the movie is. That just makes it worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could tell this was 3 episodes of a show put together as a feature-length movie.
Yeah,
I understand why the girl who plays Moana is like, yeah, I'm not coming back for the live-action remake. Because honestly, watching this last night, I was like, yeah, I don't need to see this shit in live action. Like, it's cool seeing magic shit in animation. Like, and I was like, yo, I want magics. That's how I call it now. I want magics.
But here's the thing. Why do a live action version of something that you're going to do a sequel to in an animated? Like, that seems greedy to me, right? At least all of the other live action remakes they've done, it's for stuff like one-offs, like stuff that doesn't have a
sequel. Right. Like The Lion King got direct-to-video sequels.
That doesn't
Aladdin got direct-to-video sequels, right? Everything has gotten direct-to-video sequels, and a lot of people, we overlook those. Like, we overlook them. So, like, when they do these live-action remakes, we all know what time it is, but at least I'm like, well, whatever. But you're right. Like, Moana 2 is coming out 6-7 years after the first one. And then you're trying to tell me we finally get Moana 2, and then like 6 months later, we're going to get the live action.
And then like inevitably in the next 3 years, because they're probably working on it now, we're going to get Moana 3.
Right. And then probably a sequel to the live action remake as well.
Right. This seems greedy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Especially since Iger already said, Frozen 3 and 4 have already been greenlit. And I'm like, bro, I get greenlighting Frozen 3, but damn, a 4th one too? And y'all barely made the 2nd one work, to the point where a lot of Frozen fans are like, yeah, we don't really rock with 2.
Right. So like Disney going to Disney, at least they're not WB.
Right, and I'm saying this, like, I'm not mad at this movie. It's perfectly fine and enjoyable. It's just, again, it is a step down. Like, Jeff, you should go back and do yourself the favor and watch Moana, because you're gonna
Right.
watch the first one. You're gonna be like, why do this live action, and why did this need a sequel other than money?
I mean, and like, here's the thing. I'm afraid that if I watch the first one, I'm going to end up hating the second one.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's
right?
fine.
Because like right now, I'm at a point where with Moana 2, if I were 5 years old, yeah, I'd rock with it. If I were the target demo for this, if I were a child, yeah, like fine, I'm good with this. But if I'm an adult who has to be dragged to this with my child, I'll be like, all right.
Yeah.
Right. And like I appreciate that, like, especially in Encanto, you didn't have to be an adult. You didn't have to be a child to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right. That's the best animation. Right.
Yeah. Encanto's definitely their strongest thing they've put out in a long time.
Right.
Like,
and
I even like Tangled, and like Tangled is almost now, 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like especially coming off of just watching Flow last week,
Yeah.
and then like I'm watching this is like,
Yeah. Like, the only difference between the first one and the second one is obviously the animation has gotten much better because the skin tones are fucking crazy. But otherwise, it's just like, okay. Like, yeah, definitely watch the first one.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get around to it this week. It's just it's fine. Like it's if you have to take your kids to this, you'll be okay. You're going to survive. But I wouldn't rush out to see this in theaters unless you had to, unless you need to get away from your grandparents.
Yo, you take the family to see Wicked, honestly, instead.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll be real with you. I kind of like Gladiator 2 more than this one.
Well, all right, that's fair. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't. If I never saw this again, I'd be fine.
Right. Yeah. Like, yo, I'm telling you, Jeff, watch Moana 1 and then come back and let us know what you thought of Moana 1. Because I watching it again, I'm like, oh yeah, like the songs are catchy. Like, You Know the Way, You're Welcome, which is just a one-line joke in this. It was a whole musical number in the first one. Like, the songs were catchy.
I'll check it out.
Also, Moana levels up in this one.
Yeah,
which I was just like, sure.
Yeah, like it. Even
that shit made no sense.
Well, I mean, like, but they don't explain. Is she a demigod now?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. I was like, I thought that was what the reveal was going to be, but I mean, I guess maybe they're holding that for part 3. Because I was like, why isn't she like Maui? Like, why doesn't she have the tattoos all over her? It's just on the one part of her arm, not even her whole arm, just her forearm.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
they don't explain it.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm just like, look. Shout out to Jared Bush, friend of the show, but like, yo, look.
Like, I feel that Jared Bush probably had some really interesting ideas, and Disney was like, but toys.
Yeah.
We gotta sell toys.
Yeah. This does not make me excited for this live action remake. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, those pictures of The Rock didn't make me excited for the live action remake.
Because you see what I mean now? Like, you see how Maui looks, and then you look at the live action, and you're just like, bro, maybe you should have just stepped aside and let somebody else play Maui.
Right. Like, yes, we know you are the voice of Maui. And I don't know if, like, and like, this is me nitpicking. I don't know if it was just the screening room, like the theater we were in, but it was like a fraction of a second off with the audio and like, okay, so that just wasn't me.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? If Avarulo, if I'm saying her name correctly, if Avarulo could step aside and let another young girl come in and play Moana, like, Dwayne, you could step aside. Like, and like, if you've seen pictures of Avarulo, who plays the voice of Moana, she looks exactly like Moana. So the fact that she's like, yeah, I don't want to do, I'm not doing the same movie twice. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's It's what it is. It's a holiday weekend. You got to get outside. You got to do stuff with your kids.
Go see Wicked.
You can't get tickets for Wicked. If you can't get tickets for Wicked,
Wicked's playing on like 8 screens per theater. So like you will eventually be able to see Wicked.
Yeah. But as far as animated movies go, this is the weakest one
of the year. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like even Inside Out 2, which is just the first one again, but that also manages to do different things and have some great themes at the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I really don't know what the story was here, other than they're trying to find other people and pull Island out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, even without the post-credit scene, you could tell that it was being set up for other adventures, because like when all the other, like, spoiler alert, when they finally accomplish their mission and they can now go to these other islands and see all these other brown people, you know, like the Africans came up, and then you got the Southeast Asians coming up. I was like,
also,
all right, cool.
This is a bad idea. Sometimes you don't want to find other people because other people might be malicious and not have your best intentions at heart.
Well, that's the third movie. They find the bad, find the bad ocean folk.
Straight up like stealing from James Cameron.
Right, but no, like it's obvious, right? Like it's so like the movie's obvious, and like the sequel is going to be obvious.
Look, Moana 1 still an enjoyable movie. I'll say that, and that's how I'm going to end it on.
Moana 2, it's a movie, it's out, and you can't see Wicked, and you don't live in a city where you can see Flow.
And now we're going to end on a review that probably matters the most,
right,
for this movie, because clearly this is movie for children, and we have shout out to Joe for letting us record his son Nicky. So shout out to Nicky Rangeli, his first movie in a theater. So it's quite delightful.
It's second.
Second. Okay, what was his first movie?
I don't know. He told Joe told me he went to another movie theater. I don't know what he watched though.
Okay, well, like very delighted to be at his first press screening and to experience his first press screening with him.
And shout out Nicky for the gummy bears, man. You're a lifesaver.
All right, that's 141. There we go. Hey, Nicky, what'd you think of the movie?
It was very good.
Awesome. You like it a lot?
Yeah.
Awesome. Say you're listening to the Film Blurs.
I don't know how to say.
You can say just say exactly what I'm telling you. You're listening to the Film Blurs.
Okay.
Say it. Say it. We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Nord, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.